Good day, family. Welcome again to our YouTube channel, May Nigeria Succeed. Today, we take a critical look at some of the issues that is evident in our polity as we get closer to national elections. There's a growing concern about deep fake around the globe, but as if that's not enough, menace of fake news, deliberate distortions seem to be the bane of the forthcoming elections in Nigeria. Almost every political party today is involved in this one way or the other. A few days back, we woke up to a clip that suggested some in the southeast are being threatened for supporting Obi. However, the t-shirt one has nothing to do with any frontline candidate in the forthcoming elections. Please watch the video here.
Let me see that person. Who is that person? Let me see the face. Hey, wait. Let me see the face of that person you're hearing. Who is that person?
It's
Peter Obi. What have Peter Obi done for you? Eh? What have Peter Obi done for you? He have not done anything. And you people want to sell us in this community. Eh? We have been warning you people, but you refuse. Eh? This will be the last chance you have. Anytime I see you wearing politics clothes or cap or anything about politics, show this car. Fire the car. Go this side. Fire this car. Fire him. Fire him. Burn the tire. Fuck him. Burn the
This development has caught the attention of some foreign media, and they have this to say.
Tonight for Truth or Fake, Catalina Marchand-Deborah is over by the big board, ready to go. Catalina, good evening to you. Looking at Nigeria, where there's been a rise in fake news ahead of the presidential elections, which are scheduled for February. Tell us more.
Indeed, Nigerians head to the polls in February, and before any election in any country, it's quite common for us to see a rise in fake news surrounding these elections, this time targeting Labour candidate Peter Obi, who has emerged as a top presidential contender in Nigeria. He is predicted to have the highest chances of becoming Nigeria's next president, according to an opinion survey that was conducted in the country, posted right here by a Business Day, a local newspaper. And Peter Obi's opposition has been sharing this video that originated on TikTok that has now been deleted, but we have the screenshot right here for you that's been archived, where we see the Nigerian presidential hopeful Peter Obi, who allegedly claimed that he pulled 439 million Nigerians out of poverty, which when he was governor of Anambra State, clearly what seems to be an exaggeration in his favor, since the Nigerian population has an estimated 200 million people. So this video right here has been widely shared online ever since. We have these posts, for example, on Twitter, where they claim, in his usual ways of making false claims and lying effortlessly, Peter Obi is here again claiming he pulled 439 million people out of poverty. This is your new order. And right here, another post as well. Peter Obi strikes again. Nigeria's population, fact-checking, allegedly is 200 million people. So where users claim that the Nigerian presidential candidate was caught lying. Mark?
Where does this video originally come from, Catalina?
Here is the full text or video of Peter Obi's original speech that was used on the fake claims on social media. Right here on this YouTube account, the speech belongs to an October 2022 Peter Obi's speech that took place at the Rewa, a joint committee dedicated to fostering development in northern Nigeria. We have the speech right here for you, the original speech. In the original speech in YouTube, where Peter Obi was actually speaking about China's adoption of a millennial development goal that helped lift 439 million citizens out of poverty in China. So this video right here that we see in TikTok, this video right here, he was referring to China in this speech, not to Nigeria. Mark.
So do we conclude that Mr. Obi has been the victim of a very widely viewed setup? So let's hope that this has gone some way to setting things to rights. Truth or fake, Catalina, thank you very much.
Elections in Nigeria for over a decade now have been trailed with claims of digital manipulations, and in some cases, others have called it digital warfare. From Cambridge Analytica revelations of how elections were manipulated with misleading and fear-mongering tales in 2011, the efforts towards the same directions in 2015 failed. Links will be in our description box. This year, the BBC went to town with research on how influencers are being used by major parties to use fake news as a tool to drive electoral narratives. Now, don't get us wrong, being paid for a job as influencers is not wrong. But are all influencers oblivious of the dark side of influencing? Please, take a listen to BBC reports here.
Presidential candidate Peter Obi falsely accused of belonging to a separatist group. A fake video of Elon Musk endorsing him.
With regards to his works on Peter Obi campaign, someone I have great respect for and will be working with him in future by next year.
A photo altered to make candidate Bola Tinubu look much older. Viral posts falsely suggesting that candidate Atiku Abubakar has fallen ill. Millions of Nigerians are trying to decide who to vote for in the next general election. They are up against a flood of false political information on social media, and we've discovered that much of it is paid for. Twitter is probably the most influential platform in this election. You might think people are sharing their own beliefs. But the BBC has spoken to multiple people who claim that influencers are being paid by political parties to deliberately spread false information on social media. They're not disclosing they're being paid to show support, making it hard for users to grasp their real intentions. Two insiders from two of Nigeria's political parties have told the BBC's disinformation team what's really going on, revealing secrets about how these influence operations work. We've agreed to protect their identity, so we've changed their names and used actors to reconstruct their interviews. Yemi is a prominent strategist, and Godia, a politician.
We recruit people directly on social media and create accounts with which we do this. When recruiting, we look at people in the space who have a voice. They don't necessarily have to be talking about politics.
Payments to influencers is a gray area. We avoid banks to avoid scrutiny. We don't have a budget for this, and we have people who move this money around. We have people look away in airports to allow someone move this cash around. We have paid an influencer up to 20 million naira for delivering a certain result. I think that's the highest I have seen where someone was paid for being an influencer.
Yemi also mentioned paying an influencer up to 20 million naira. That's around $45,000. Under Nigerian law, it isn't illegal for political parties to hire social media influencers, but it is illegal to spread disinformation, and it goes against Twitter's policy. Twitter's rules also state people must disclose when they're being paid to promote content, so their followers can make informed decisions about what they are seeing. We've asked Nigeria's main political parties, APC, PDP, and Labour Party, about the whistleblowers' allegations. They did not reply to our request for comment. But using influencers to spread propaganda is a well-known strategy inside the political world.
Anybody who denies it, anybody who says that there isn't a dark, shadowy aspect of political influencing using social media platforms will not be telling the truth.
Godia is a politician who knows all about the dirty tactics used to persuade people.
We use images that may not even be relevant to the story we're trying to spin. And we can take pictures from East Africa in the 90s, in war zones, and attach it to a tweet about how my ethnic group is being killed. When people get emotional, they like, they retweet, it gets traction.
The tweets are posted by influencers, but she says their messages are carefully controlled by strategists from political parties.
We have situation rooms where there are people whose job it is to monitor how well a narrative is doing. They have a roster of what to post every day of the week. They have targets.
The insiders we spoke to told us how influencers are paid to spread false information. We can't show the exact campaigns they worked on to protect their identities. But there are hundreds of other confirmed cases of false information about Nigerian politics going viral on Twitter. But even when there is no evidence of money changing hands, political disinformation shapes conversations on Nigerian Twitter. It could be false claims about a presidential candidate supporting extrajudicial killings, unsubstantiated rumors about a candidate's poor health, or claims that a candidate is stepping down when they are not. In August, influencers promoted without evidence the claim that presidential candidate Peter Obi from the Labour Party was linked to and following orders from the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, a designated terror group. His party denies this. One of the people pushing that narrative was Reno Omokri, who was special assistant to former President Goodluck Jonathan from the opposition party PDP, to his more than 2 million followers. When approached for a comment, Reno Omokri said he stands by his accusations, but insists he has not been paid by the People's Democratic Party to campaign on their behalf. This post also went viral. It claims to show Mr. Obi's son at an IPOB protest in Europe, standing on the Nigerian flag, and was shared by a prominent social media strategist and political opponent of Mr. Obi from the ruling APC. But the man in the photo is not Peter Obi's son. When we reached out to Mr. Akinsola Akin to comment on his post, he did not respond. In July, more false political claims made by influencers associating Kashim Shettima, a candidate for vice president, with members of the Islamist militant group Boko Haram, were widely shared. This tweet claims to show Mr. Shettima sharing a meal with Boko Haram members, but a reverse image search showed that the picture was first used in news reports in 2017 of a meeting between him and Fulani parents when he was governor of Borno State. We do not have evidence that these specific examples involved payment of any kind, but we've spoken to multiple influencers independently who have confirmed to us that there's a widespread practice of payment in exchange for false political posts. Some admitted that they themselves have received payment from political parties, but wouldn't provide evidence for fear of self-incrimination. One influencer we spoke to told us he was currently being paid by a political party to post made-up stories about rival politicians. Separately, Rabi Ibiora, an influencer known for supporting the ruling APC, told us he was wooed by a major opposition party to influence for its presidential candidate and to stop promoting the APC's candidate on social media. He said he did not receive gifts of any kind to change sides. However, in this Facebook post, he said he received a car and money from the opposition party in exchange for his support on social media. We asked him again about it, and he did not respond to our messages. Despite these issues, there are those who argue social media has had a positive effect on political debate.
The fundamental difference between this space and the TV and the newspapers is that it's far more democratized. Nobody needs to write somebody to share their opinion. Nobody needs to write somebody to post it on Medium, post it on their blog, post it on their YouTube page. And that's better, that's good for the democracy.
But the false messages spread by influencers tend to spill offline.
There is a very blurred line between the online and the offline in the Nigerian context. There, what is discussed online form topic for discussion in most morning shows on television. In markets, homes, and even union or association meeting.
Godia told us this is even part of a deliberate strategy.
We also have this tactic that's new. We go to places where people hang out, like beer parlors, meshai joints, and we just kind of throw in a topic of discussion there. And we try to convince everybody there about our own narrative. And people don't suspect a thing. They think it's just a citizen just like them.
Godia does not regret the strategy employed, but fears it could cause havoc.
I don't see it as an issue of right and wrong. I'm very pragmatic about it. It's a game. Somebody has to win, and God help me, I will not be on the losing side. What gives me concern really is the fact that people are willing to set this country on fire. I mean, literally, people could die. We could go into a civil war. This country is fractured as it is already, and nobody seems to care. People just want to win the election.
We also asked Yemi how she feels about her work. She refused, however, to take any personal responsibility for what the hired influencers do. But some posts with false information have made it into news blogs and radio programs, becoming real conversations on the streets of Nigeria.
It's a form of electoral interference also, because at the end of every election, it is very difficult to sort fact from fiction.
Twitter's office in Ghana was closed and nearly all of its staff was fired after Elon Musk's takeover of the company, raising concerns there might be an increase of misinformation on the platform. In response to our findings, Twitter has taken down some of the accounts we reported, and it said it has a responsibility to protect electoral conversation from interference and manipulation, as well as the spread of false information. But as Nigerians go to the polls, they may be questioning how to trust the political information they are getting without knowing who is really behind it.
Those who went as far as going to bars, salons, public centers to start conversations that with skewed informations to manipulate others and change the course of narratives to fit what they are paid to do, even if the information is absolutely lies afterwards, can they be seen as innocent influencers? Can this be said to be the reasons for the new narratives that seem to be gaining ground on social media that there is no morals in politics? However, if we embrace politics without values, what kind of community are we creating? Chaotic or sane country? Your guess is as good as mine. Kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel as we together deepen our conversations. We salute you all. May Nigeria succeed.